Somewhere in the Philippines, in the island of Negros, there's this small laid-back city that was known for several decades now as a place where many students from different parts of the Visayas and Mindanao, or even Palawan, are being sent to by their parents to study. It seems like those parents knew that there's a lot more in Dumaguete than just good education. And sending their kids here means gifting them with not only quality education but some quality experiences too. But that was before, when the students and the universities here were among the only few things that make the biggest deal. That's why this place was commonly referred to as the university town. But those students from other places would usually just go back to their hometowns or just move to bigger cities after graduating in search for opportunities. Now, in the last 5 or 10 years, it's a lot different. Students are not just the only ones coming in. More and more people are deciding to move here. Some of them are online workers, and because they have the luxury to work from anywhere, it's easier for them to decide if they want to transfer to a nicer place. And why not Dumaguete? Some establish their professions here or start their businesses. Others apply for jobs. This would have been just normal if Dumaguete is a big, highly industrialized city with lots of opportunities and better amenities, but this is not the case. Though Dumaguete also has sufficient amenities, it is just a very small city with less than 150,000 residents. Daytime population here though may reach about 300,000. Some of those who transferred here even come from bigger cities. And more lately, more and more foreigners are retiring here. In fact, most of you may have already known foreign magazines, including Forbes, listed Dumaguete as one of the best places to retire here in the entire globe. I think the Department of Tourism also awarded this place as the best retirement area in the Philippines in 2018. So what could be the reasons why more and more people are deciding to come here to study, or to live, or to retire? And why is this place referred to by magazines and agencies as one of the best places to retire? I read some articles and the reasons are low cost of living, good healthcare, because we have good hospitals here, especially now that we have two new good ones, good weather, excellent schools, friendly people, and it's a gateway to really good tourist destinations. While all of those factors are true, I noticed that there's this one positive thing about Dumaguete that is not mentioned in the articles. And I believe this thing is one of the strongest reasons why people want to come back or stay here. But before I'll explain to you that thing, for context, let me first elaborate on the part where Dumaguete is a gateway to many great destinations. Because for me, this gateway part is the second greatest factor. Imagine, if suddenly you feel like you want to unwind away from the city, drive west up the mountain. In just 15 to 30 minutes and you will be in Valencia town, also known as the Little Baguio of the Visayas, because of its cooler atmosphere. Aside from its many upland resorts, rivers, waterfalls, bikes, and hike trails, which I am going to talk about in a bit, Valencia town is also known for its plaza, its church, and the overall super laid-back ambience. Some people come here to just unwind, buy plants, eat at the food bazaar, etc. And there's like a business hub thing here in the plaza every Sunday morning where local businesses and startups put up temporary stalls where they display their products. Here you can try different foods, coffee, arts, etc. As for the resorts in Valencia town, one of them is Forest Camp. Forest Camp was then a private family resort of the Vicuña family until they opened it up for the public in the late 90s. It just had one pool and was only known to several locals here. Now it has multiple pools and is now one of the most popular resorts in the entire Philippines. The owners are still hands-on in managing and developing the resort. That's why you can feel the passion and see the finesses in every corner of the resort. Forest Camp is open for walk-ins who just want to chill and swim in the cold waters of their pools. And it also offers different types of overnight accommodation, from open-air cottages to big air-conditioned rooms. The place also has a skate park, a spa, a rock climbing wall, zip line, a restaurant, and a farm where they raise free-range chickens and other fowls. It's where they source most of their meats that they serve in the restaurant. And now they offer this new activity where you can catch your own tilapia at their tilapia farm and they may cook your catch for you. Another resort in Valencia town that's just several minutes from Dumaguete City is Pulang Bato Waterfalls Resort. One of the nice things about this place is the journey or the views going there. You will drive by rivers, cliffs, and large trees, roadside waterfalls, and if you are lucky, you will be greeted by wild monkeys chilling at some trees at the side of the road. On the resort, you will have the option to swim at their river-fed pools or swim at the waterfalls. The water in the waterfalls is sulfuric, while the water in the pools is not sulfuric. Their restaurants aren't yet fully operational though due to the pandemic. Maybe they haven't fully recovered yet or they still have to set it up again. But hopefully it will be back on its full operation soon. Just around 500 meters down the road from Pulang Bato Waterfalls Resort is Pulang Bato Hot Spring. You can visit this place as a side trip when you go to Pulang Bato, or you can visit this place as your main purpose. This is a good quick place to visit early in the morning or in cold rainy days. There are several more resorts and cafes after Barangay Pulang Bato, like this new resort called Tawhay that's around 2 kilometers from Pulang Bato. This place offers a different kind of vibe. I think a more private vibe here. The resort was closed when I came, but thanks to the management, they allowed me to roam around to take some clips. Aside from the many upland resorts and cafes in Valencia, there are many river spots in here where you can freely dip or swim. Some are just near roads and some need a bit of hiking. Usually the water in these river spots is usually clean because they are located at the foot of the mountain where there are no longer residential places. Or you can hike to some of the many waterfalls here in Valencia like the Casaroro Falls. I was supposed to hike down to take some footage of the waterfalls here, but it rained hard. So I came back to the top and spent some time drinking my hot coffee at the cafe above called Limotakna. When the rain stopped, I decided to not proceed and I just went to another location instead because it is not safe to be in rivers during heavy rains. This waterfalls is so majestic, but we must be wary when visiting during rainy days. I recommend hiring a tour guide because they know when there could be a risk of flood. I will just go back here some other time to take some footage and include it in my future videos. So please subscribe. So those are just a few of the many things you can do or visit in Valencia. Hiking and biking are also some of the things Valencia is good for, but I will make a separate video about that. If you haven't yet, consider hiking to the top of Mount Talinis. So that's it for now for Valencia. If one day you like to do scuba diving or snorkel in coral reefs with different species of fish and turtles, or simply just want to spend some time at the beach, then Dauin is just a 30-minute drive from Dumaguete. Here you can snorkel at the marine reserves or ride a boat for another 30 minutes and be in one of the best diving spots in the world, Apo Island. When I was walking at the beach at Dauin, I happened to meet the owner of Bongo Bongo Dive Resort. I asked him to tell you something about Dauin and Apo Island.
Guys and gentlemen, welcome to Dauin. Dauin, Philippines is just south of Dumaguete. Dauin is most famous for the diving. You guys might have heard about Apo Island. Apo Island is just here behind us. We can't see it, but it's about 30 to 40 minute boat ride from Dauin. That was one of the first marine protected areas in the Philippines together with Subilon Island. So what we see there and what we see in Dauin is a lot of different fish. Actually, we have more than 800 different species of fish in Dauin, and in the Philippines there's 1,200. So about 2/3 of all the fish in Philippines, we can see those in Dauin. Dauin have about 350 turtles. Apo Island have about 150 turtles.
So actually, there are more turtles here?
There's more turtles in Dauin than Apo Island, but the coast is also much longer, so we have to remember that, right? So the coastline of Dauin, I think it's 15 or maybe 18 kilometers long. Naturally, there would be more space for the turtles, where Apo is tiny. Oh yeah, there's a lot of dive sites and snorkel sites where we can see turtles every day. We actually, usually when we do our dive courses, we provide a turtle guarantee. Because we never ever taught a open water or advanced open water without seeing at least one turtle. So it's really common to see turtles in this area. And oh yeah, we're running a small dive shop up here, a PADI 5-star dive resort. And obviously we offer tours to Apo Island, we offer diving in Dauin, we offer PADI courses, all levels, for really competitive prices and a lot of fun. Welcome to Bongo Bongo. Enjoy.
Aside from diving, snorkeling, the beaches, and the resorts here, Dauin also has some mountain resorts and cafes which I think I can feature in another video. In the near north, it's where you can experience the famous Manhuyud White Sand Bar and dolphin watching. I'm going to make a separate video for that. Or much nearer but an uphill drive, you can visit Lake Balinsasayao. It could just take around 30 minutes to be here if you come from Dumaguete. Here you can kayak or ride their catamaran paddle boats, or you can also hike and do bird watching or bird photography, or just chill and enjoy the local foods at the restaurant. One of the Philippines' famous island destinations is Siquijor, and this island is just 30-minute to 1-hour boat ride from Dumaguete. Siquijor is famous for its beaches. It has plenty of good private beach resorts, but it also still has a lot of undeveloped beaches that you can explore. All you need to do is look them up at Google Maps and follow them through GPS. One of the most famous public beaches in Siquijor is Paliton Beach in the town of San Juan. Paliton Beach has some good food stalls, benches, and tables where you can chill, have beer or coffee, or have snacks and feel the laid-back, informal feel in there. Siquijor also has some mountain resorts like Infinity Heights and overlooking restaurants like Triad. Some more things you can do there is visit their fish spa, which is made under the enchanted balete tree, or play Tarzan in the Cambugahay Falls in Lazi. And if culture and heritage fascinate you, you can visit their old churches and convents in every town, like the convent at Lazi, which is the oldest convent in Asia. I think Southeast Asia maybe. Siquijor is just around 100-kilometer drive if you want to circle the entire island. Another thing that's near Dumaguete is South Cebu. South Cebu has some famous destinations and activities like swimming with the whale sharks in Oslo, or canyoneering in Badian, or swimming with sardines in Mualboal. All you need to do to go to these places is ride the barge from Cebulan Port to the port of South Cebu, which only takes you around 15 minutes, then drive to any of these destinations for around 15 to 45 minutes. Some more destinations that are a little bit far but not too far are Bohol and Panglao Island, which would just take around 2 hours boat ride. Dapitan, which would only take you around 3 hours boat ride. Dapitan is known for their Dakak Beach Resort and the Rizal Museum. And Sipalay Sugar Beach, which would only take you around 4 hours drive. Or if you can afford charter flights, you can visit Boracay, Siargao, or Palawan through Royal Charter. Being near or surrounded by those multiple destinations is one of the things that makes Dumaguete special. Most popular destinations in the Philippines are known for just 1 or 2 or 3 things. Dumaguete is known for a lot of things surrounding it. Before I will finally get to the part about what for me is the strongest factor why people would want to come back or stay here, let me first thank the sponsor of this video. If you are thinking about spending some days here and you want your adventure to be properly arranged, your accommodation, the destinations and activities, timing with the weather, your transportation, whether you want to go to destinations through van, coaster if you are a big group, motorcycle, boats and diving gear if you want to go diving, etc., then I highly recommend that you talk to the sponsor of this video, Hui Discover Travel and Tours. Their website is www.huidiscover.com. They are a licensed travel agency and their office is located at the ground floor of Hotel Ascensia, the biggest and one of the best hotels here in Dumaguete. Now let me talk to you about what for me is the greatest factor why many people from other places easily fall in love with Dumaguete City. I agree with all the factors mentioned in the articles, especially the nearby destinations part and the universities. But for me, this is the strongest one, and it's not mentioned as one of the factors in the articles. And that's Dumaguete's city life, or Dumaguete's city culture. The overall experience of living here, the aura of the people that you meet here, how there are lots of different kinds of things in a very small place, and how everything is so near from each other. It has lots of good foods, lots of bars and cafes, lots of coffee shops, lots of free Wi-Fi, lots of hotels, lots of banks, lots of good residential places, have beautiful public places to walk around, and most importantly, lots of beautiful people. And as I mentioned in the earlier part of this video, swimmable rivers, biking and hiking trails, waterfalls, beach and mountain resorts, and other cool destinations are just nearby. It's like the city was designed ergonomically so everything will be easily and conveniently accessible in most times. And of course, those couldn't be sustainable without a culture passionate for it, passionate for food, passionate for hanging out, fitness, coffee, music, etc. Yes, there's a culture in here that's more into those. That in itself, Dumaguete city life or city culture is a big attraction. It will make you want to become a part of it, and that's why the city is named Dumaguete, coming from the word daget, meaning to capture. If you visit this place and if you are reckless, you will be hypnotized by its spirits and you wouldn't want to go away anymore. Let me show you this clip that I shot on a Thursday early evening at the Rizal Boulevard. I will show you the bars and the restaurants on the strip, and then I'll show you the nightlife. Let me mention that the restaurants are not yet busy during this time because it was a Thursday and it was still early. But also, the economy is actually still recovering here. Many are still in the survival mode from the pandemic, both businesses and the people. Many families are still prioritizing the back-to-school face-to-face expenses, and many people from around the world hasn't yet got back to traveling because of varying reasons. But at least we are on the way to recovery, and for that I think we should be thankful. The first restaurant from the south of the boulevard is Jerry's Grill. Next is Starbucks Coffee. After that is Cafe Filomena, which is located at the Bethel Guest House. This is a Legre restaurant which unfortunately was closed when I passed by that day. Honeycomb Tourist Inn, they have a bar and bands play there almost every night. They usually have a mix of foreign and local customers. Previously known as Music Box, Why Not is one of the oldest clubs in town. Their restaurant, Le Chalet, is still one of the best here. Paseo de Perdices is a business arcade that has several restaurants in front and more businesses inside. The businesses that you see at the front are Gabi's Bistro, Max's Chicken, Yellow Cab Pizza, and Chat Time. I'm not sure if Chat Time is a restaurant name. Next to that is Sanstrival Bistro. This is one of the branches of Sanstrival Cakes and Pastries. Sanstrival now has several branches around the Philippines, and this is their bistro version. This is Sarah's Liner. Chinlong is also one of the oldest restaurants here, and they serve one of the best siopaws in Dumaguete. Casablanca is a restaurant that serves European dishes, and they are one of the fine dining restaurants here in Dumaguete. Bogart's place is unfortunately closed when I passed by, but gladly, they are still open when I checked them out the next day. This Burger Delight stall is very famous here. I am not sure about that restaurant next to Burger Delight. This is La Residencia Hotel, and below it is their restaurant Don Atilano and JLH Delicatessen that sells imported frozen goods. Boss Coffee and Tam & Tam's Coffee are just next to each other. And I think this is good because when Boss Coffee is full, their customers can just go to Tam & Tam's, and vice versa maybe. This next restaurant has unfortunately closed because of the pandemic. This is Bricks Hotel, a boutique-style hotel that was made just a few years ago, just before the pandemic. And they have a cafe at the right corner, which I forgot the name, and they just recently opened a new restaurant called Sintro. And at the last tip of this boulevard is the Siliman Museum and the seaport. I walked along Siliman Avenue to get my motorcycle that was parked at the front of El Amigo, one of the coolest and oldest bar and cafe here.
Last ni El Amigo dire. Sa mga diyan ngapi ka diya?
Right behind him is Moon Cafe, a Mexican restaurant. After our conversation, I drove for around 3 minutes to the North Boulevard, so I can also show you the bars and restaurants in there, and then show to you the nightlife. First is the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, Sachi Ramen, Whatever Karaoke, Hayhay Treehouse Bar and View Deck, Labas Native Restaurant, Lantau Native Restaurant, the Philinvest Mall that's still being constructed, Tiki Bar, Mafioso Restaurant, some food stalls that also have a lot of followers, Craveza, Sutukil, La Cote d'Azur, Shocking Oysters, Ryu Sushi, and many more restaurants that are in the front and inside this arcade complex called North Point. Moon Cafe, a Mexican-inspired restaurant, Shaka, a Hawaiian-inspired restaurant, and inside this place is Henry's Hotel, which also has a lot of restaurants. I think there are around 10 restaurants in here, and if I move on are several more restaurants and food stalls. But I'm already tired. Now let me quickly talk to you about the nightlife here. There are several kinds of things happening in Dumaguete every night, even during weekdays. Some venues have live music performances every night, while other venues only have it on some nights and just have chill background music on other nights. Some bars even have regular genres on every day of the week, like they have jazz on Mondays, acoustic on Tuesdays, pop on Wednesdays, rock on Thursdays, and DJs on weekends. Like this that happened at Cafe Racer on a Monday night. Dumaguete have so much love for music that live performances sometimes happen during afternoons. During weekends, while there are a lot going on in several areas in the city, let me show you a glimpse of what usually happens in just a little portion of the place, along the area that we call Escanio. Aside from the coffee shops and food stalls here, where people are just usually chill, there are these venues that have live bands and live DJs, like this place. Cafe Racer have DJs during Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. On Fridays, DJs play mixes that are more targeted towards the millennials. On Saturdays, they play a bit of the oldies jam. And on Sunday, house music. But it will never be awkward if you are an oldie and you party on a Friday, or if you are a youngster and you party on a Saturday. It will always be cool that way here. Tiki Bar was once somewhat a native two-story open-type bar located just a few meters from their present location now. Unfortunately, it was damaged by the strong typhoon, and now they have this, capable of serving both an indoor club-type experience and an outdoor chill at the same time. I think they have 2 DJs in and out when I passed by this time. And there are several new restaurants and bars that have live music on weekends and on several days of the week, like this place that I haven't yet tried called Laco Teddy Azur. And finally, I can't talk about the Dumaguete Nightlife without mentioning this place, Hayhay Treehouse Bar and View Deck, because they started this all. They were a home to many of the past bands and musicians. Right now, they are still alive and kicking, and they still have live bands and acoustic every day. Another thing I would like to mention quickly here before I end this video is about road tripping in the island of Negros. There are a lot of beautiful routes here with beautiful sceneries or beautiful places to stop by to rest or spend the night in. But it needs a separate episode dedicated to that to be able to show you the experience. But what I can tell you is just you can actually do it by just renting motorcycles. This company called Sada have different kinds of motorcycles available for rent, from scooters to high-power motorcycles. And they will gladly guide you with different routes and itineraries if you visit them at their office.
Regular citizen, on the road scooter, or VIP in terms of if you want a yacht, if you want a private plane, so something like that. So move it ang target. Ano sa Chara Expeditions?
Thank you very much for watching this video. This video is not just for foreigners or the people from outside of Negros or Dumaguete, but it is also for the locals who may have taken for granted that they are actually fortunate to be living in a beautiful place. Please support this channel by subscribing or by liking this video, and if you have some comments or you have some suggestions for future videos, please comment. Thank you.